Vlad and I used to be fierce rivals. Now Vlad's retired from diving, going on greater things in life. Vladimir, thank you for coming on.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Sam. If you have an accident or a crash or a flop at that height, you are going to hurt yourself dramatically. When I did properly wake up, I was at the bottom of the pool, staring around, and I'm like, I need to breathe. Starting to feel pain, people are screaming, crying, even some people vomiting.
As an elite athlete, to a degree, you need to be quite selfish because you got to think about what you're doing all the time.
I don't need to explain why. If you love something enough, you'll do what it takes to achieve that goal and not let anything get in your way. You miss out on friendships, going to social events, maybe not performing as well as you might want to in school. You need to take care of your mental health, what you're eating, your physical well-being, not as an athlete, but as a person.
Most mornings I get up, I'm so tired. I just want to stay in bed. I don't really want to go training, but it's not an option.
A 9 or maybe 2 9s, and I was like, oh my God. But you see someone your age doing it like they are, and you're like, oh my God, they are on another level.
Today we're here with Vladimir Rudenko, former Australian diver. Vlad and I used to be fierce rivals as a kid. Now Vlad's retired from diving, going on to greater things in life. Vladimir, thank you for coming on.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Sam. Long time no see as well. And it's in front of a camera.
Yeah, I know. It's an experience sharing your details in front of cameras, microphones, and we're just saying because we're filming at night, they teach us about sleep hygiene, and they say the worst thing to do at night is have bright lights on. So I think this is going to probably destroy my circadian rhythm.
Yeah, we're going to be here all night.
Do you remember when that sleep expert came in and claimed that it took for every 1 hour time zone you cross, it took a day to adjust. So if you were 20 hours out, it would take 20 days to adjust.
Yeah, I remember it so clearly.
Sometimes we get these experts that come into diving. If they're not diving experts, they're like experts in their field of something, and we get hit with one of those. I'm like, that's not very helpful.
You get these experts come in to talk to people who are in elite sport, and you hear from them, oh, you need 8 to 10 hours sleep, which most people can regularly get, but as an elite sport person, does that really ever happen? If I'm getting paid all the time, yeah, maybe, but
it's tough because you don't get paid being a diver, and when training finishes, when we were younger, training would finish near 7 p.m. Then you'd be back at training around 6. You have to get up at 5. So getting those hours of sleep was always tough.
Yeah, it is, especially when you're a young person, a young kid in school, and you have to get work done and assignments, study for exams, you have to stay up late. So realistically, you're getting to bed around 9, 10, even later if you need to stay up.
Yeah. How old were you when you came into the institute? Because when we were young, you'd flog my ass at competitions. And then you went into NSWIS maybe a year or two before me. What was that like at such a young age? How old were you, and what was your experience going from just normal life to elite sport training 6 days a week?
So I was 12 when I got invited to do a trial in the Institute of Sport, and that was after I performed at age nationals or club nationals, and I managed to come first in 1 meter, 3 meter, and platform. And I put up a really good result. And at the time, my coach was also a coach in the Institute of Sport. And
was that Tomo?
Yeah, it was Tomo.
Love Tomo.
Yeah, love Tomo. So he put my name forward, said let's put you up for a trial, and that I was over the moon. I really was over the moon. And then from there, I went into the Institute of Sport, got a 2-week trial, and they said, "Yep, you're in." And yeah. Ever since then, that's been my life pretty much as a kid going through school.
Was it an exciting time?
It was, the initial part. When you get into elite sport or into NSWIS, the elite program, it's I felt like all the work I put in as a kid, it was like I got recognized. Finally, people saw me.
Sorry for the work that you put in, and
yeah,
it's crazy too because that's nearly the beginning.
That's where it begins. For me, that's where becoming an elite athlete that wants to represent the country, being a diver, that's where it all begins.
And how tough was that training? Because I remember my first N-Swiss session ever as an elite diver. I was just some kid doing diving a couple of days a week, bit of trampolining, bit of soccer, probably getting in trouble at school.
Yeah.
To like my first elite training session, and I was like shocked at how hard it was. It was like this cardio Monday morning session, and I felt like throwing up for 2 hours. And I went to school, and I was in like shock. I was like, this is tough, and I was nervous to come back to training that afternoon. And I thought, how am I going to do this for weeks? My first session was like terrifying. Corey vomited.
Yeah.
All the boys were sick. And then everyone else is just doing it so easy. You're like, how can I be this bad?
Yeah.
What was your first week and first couple of sessions like?
I can relate to that, but it probably took a few more weeks, and I'd call it the honeymoon phase
of training.
Yeah. So I did my trial, and you know, you start out, you're only doing a few days a week. You know, at age of 12, you only have to do 4-5 days a week. Not too bad, and maybe 2-3 mornings, which is very easy to do. And you know, you're doing very basic training, just straight jumps, tuck jumps, pike jumps, nothing really too hard
or scary.
And you know, they take it easy on you, and you do have to.
See, I missed this honeymoon phase.
Yeah,
they cracked straight into me.
Yeah,
that was good. I probably
and you're kind of like in that honeymoon phase, you're like, come on, let's step it up already. But really, that phase is actually really important, because if you already were doing diving like myself, you need to go back to the basics, right? But you soon realize, once you've gotten over, you know, through that honeymoon phase, you're like, I want to go back. It's a big shock. It really is a big shock.
When you start being pushed to do bigger dives and learn new skills, which you need. Like, I wouldn't be the diver I am if I wasn't pushed. And I still need to be pushed to be better. Can you tell me about a day where you learnt one of these dives that terrified you?
One of these dives that terrified
Possibly
me.
back 2.5, because I remember learning that.
Oh my God. Dives? Yeah, back 2.5. I just remember there were 5 or 6 of us, and it was going up to the 7-meter platform, and we were told, we're all going to learn back 2.5.
Oh, I remember this day.
From this ginormous height, and we were just all shaking, trembling, terrified, and just nobody wanted to like go up. Everyone was just petrified. It's so high up. If you have an accident or a crash or a flop at that height, you are going to hurt yourself dramatically, especially as a little kid. Right? And the coaches, they do not care. You're going up no matter what.
I love it. I was more scared of the coach than I was the dive.
Yeah,
You're scared of the dive, and then you got the coach. Like,
yeah.
I'm going.
And so everyone's just
going
shaking.
Up the stairs.
Knees shaking, but, you know, everyone gets around each other at least. When everyone's doing something, you really do get pushed. You don't want to be...
They group you together. They're like, right, we're all doing this today.
Yeah.
And then because you're doing it, I'm like, oh, well, I got to do it. And I'm nervous as hell, but... He's gonna. I better do it. I can't let him do it, not me do it.
Yeah, you don't want to be that kid that doesn't do it.
You can't.
You can't.
That can't be you.
And that's where the competitive nature starts, really.
In training.
Yeah. Competitive and motivating.
So what about when you're up on the platform? It was your turn to do it.
Oh, I was terrified. I remember turning around and I'm like, oh my God. Like my back is to the water. I cannot see what I'm about to do. I just remember throwing my arms back and my heart just sank, and I was just squeezed, and I just waited to hear the coach say hop, and I just kicked out as hard as I could. Really scared to put my arms up. I don't know if I'm going to land on my back, on my stomach. I'm just praying it's the water. I'm the right way up. And then, you know, it happened. You kick out and you go through the water, and no matter which way you land, luckily I landed not bad, but you land and it's the best feeling. As a little kid, that is the best feeling. When you just hit a new dive from a terrifying height, oh my God, it's the best feeling.
There's nothing better, and it's so terrifying. Like, and even how nervous you'd think you look, it'd be only a tenth, because 90% of it you'd be hiding. 90%, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe no one would even know that you
Yep.
are nervous for that dive.
Mhm.
But I've been so nervous for dives before.
Mhm.
Like I felt like I was going to black out,
Mm-hmm.
like on the platform. Like
Mhm.
I was thinking about what I had to do, and because my technique was so dodgy, I felt like a bit of a kamikaze.
Mm.
That something could go wrong,
Yeah.
and turning around and coming down was never a choice, never an
Mhm.
option. I would rather splat, hurt myself. Whatever happens, it's going to happen. I'm going to do it. But I'd never turn around and walk down those stairs. And there's been days that like I felt like I was going to like black out before a dive.
To be honest, I think that's what being a diver is.
But then you hit the dive.
Yeah.
Then you hit the dive, and it gives you this like immense rush and self-belief that I was so nervous to do this thing, but my training and my training backed me up, and through my confidence, I was able to get it done. And that builds something in you that I take to every business meeting, that I take to every podcast, that I take everywhere else in life, like being on that edge and just getting over. And that's one dive. And then you learn another dive. So you back 2.5, then you learn back 3.5. Then you got to do it reverse. Do you remember the day you did reverse 2.5 off 7?
Oh my God. That was, okay. The story behind me doing reverse 2.5, there's a story behind it. So we had this back 2.5 day, right? And then it came to doing inward 2.5 day. And I did it. And I did inward 2.5, but I always struggled. I really didn't like inward 2.5.
See, I'd never know that.
Yeah.
I always thought you were really good at that. And your back 2.5s, always good.
I've really enjoyed back 2.5, but for some reason on inward, I think some athletes, get these mind blanks.
Yeah.
They get blocks and you have to overcome them. But in terms of doing this inward, I was like, I hate this. I can't count. I want to jump, but I cannot jump. My mind and my brain, my body won't let me jump. And I said, I'd rather do reverse 2.5, kind of jokingly.
To the coach?
No, I said it to one of the other athletes.
Did they tell the coach?
Who then went and told the coach. And next thing you know, I was up on the 7 meter, just throwing myself off doing a reverse 2.5. And I ended up preferring to do reverse 2.5. I hated him with 2.5. And that was a really fun dive.
Reverse? You were really good at reverse.
I love reverse.
But I remember one of the craziest accidents I've ever seen at diving was when you hit your head on reverse 2.5 in comp. I'd never seen an accident like that.
Yeah.
What happened on that day?
I just remember it was cold. I was nervous. It was nationals. I was 15.
And those platforms were like the tile ones.
Yeah.
Not the soft, like, black stuff.
Yeah.
It was those tiles.
Yeah.
I hated diving on those tiles.
It was these slippery tiles that it's not nice. You don't feel like your feet are connected to the floor at all. You just feel like you take one wrong step and you're going to slip.
You were up on the 7.5 meter.
I remember I was really nervous. I dropped my back 2.5 in competition, just a little bit short, and I needed to perfect this reverse 2.5 in competition. And I was like, this is the one. I'm going to nail this. I'm not going until I feel like this is the right time. So I took my time. I took a deep breath, calmed myself down, calmed my nerves, and counted and said, yep, this is the one. I'm going to nail this. And I took off. And as I'm reaching the top of my extension at the jump, my knees buckled, which unfortunately just happens. It can happen. And I remember going into my tuck and I'm like, okay, I've really got to squeeze here. I know, because I haven't jumped too high, right? What I didn't notice was that I jumped up just straight up, literally just straight up. So when I went into the tuck, I squeezed as hard as I could. And as I'm coming around after 1.5, on the way past the platform.
So you've done one somersault reverse.
I've done one somersault.
It's on that second rotation.
It's at 1, and then as I'm going to 1.5, I've just donked the top of my head. I've got a smiley face now on the top of my head, and I just blacked out completely. I managed to hold on to my tuck, and I blacked out completely. I kept rotating, and I did 3 somersaults, and then landed on my stomach. I somehow came out. The impact woke me up, but when I did properly, like, come to my senses, wake up, I was at the bottom of the pool, staring around, like, where am I? And I'm like, I need to breathe. So I'm swimming. I come to the edge. I'm like, I don't know what's happened. I have no idea what's happened. I just feel full of adrenaline, and I'm feeling really dizzy. People are running over, and I get to the edge of the pool and I sit down, and then, people are coming over to me. I'm like, I don't really know what's happening. And then I start to see blood coming down. And then as I'm coming to my senses a bit more, I'm starting to feel pain. People are screaming, crying, even some people vomiting. I'm just there, like, dazed. I don't know what's happening. Obviously, competition, nervousness, adrenaline, all these feelings. I'm not really sure what's going on. I just feel really tired.
Were you scared at that point, or did you not? Because I've had a concussion before from diving, and I wasn't scared because I didn't know.
Well, the first thing I was like was, did I do the dive? That was my first thought. Did I do the dive? I didn't fail the dive, right? Right?
Because you're competing. It's
yeah.
your
I need to know.
instinct.
I need to know. Did I kick out? And they're like, no. Don't worry about the dive. You're bleeding. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, I figured out that I obviously didn't do the dive, but I was like, no. People are coming over, telling me to lay down. I'm like, no, I need to go back up. I need to do my last dive. I have to get a medal. If I can't get first, I'm getting a medal. And they wouldn't let me go back up. And I was like, no. I was not having it. And they're forcefully putting me in my seat. And they're like, nope. Ambulance comes. They put me in the ambulance. And
I remember too, they had those like spaceship wraps around you. And I remember when you did it, I felt like vomiting. It made me like sick. And then, I saw you do like one flip, hit the platform, then did like a triple to there. I still remember the sound. And then they put the wrappings around you, and you wanted to just finish the competition.
Yeah, I just wanted to finish the competition. And the fact they told me I can't, well, obviously I can't, but
you didn't. Was it because concussion and shock, you didn't understand the situation to why you couldn't go back up?
I understood, like, I'm bleeding, I'm seeing all this blood come down, and I'm not feeling great, but I have a lot of this adrenaline fueling me. And, when you train 6 days a week, every single morning, twice a day, you want to do it for yourself, and you will completely ignore anything, any type of pain, any sickness. You just want to make all that training worth your while. That's what you train for. And it really hurts. It really hurts when you underperform or something doesn't go your way.
What do you think most people wouldn't know or understand about the sacrifice you have to make as an elite athlete when you're thrown in from 10, 12, 13 and just train your whole real childhood?
With elite sport, particularly young people, when you're going into elite sport and a high level, mature, professional environment from a young age, is that you're forced to grow up very young, and you see the world different you see the world differently than most people from a young age.
Because you get to travel the world as well, like travel the world, but also with this immense pressure, not from the coaches, but from yourself, because you put in the hours every single day. And from the time you're 30, for me, it was that from the time I was 13 till even today, 10 years, I've been training in the institute. And you sacrifice so much. Like my whole childhood, I basically didn't go to like any parties or never drank. Didn't really hang out with a lot of people because you train 5 hours a day. You have no energy to do anything else.
You sacrifice a lot. You miss out on friendships, going to social events, maybe not performing as well as you might want to in school. And that does take a toll on many athletes.
I got a question for you. Do you think it's worth it?
What do I think is worth it?
Training, being a high performance athlete during those years, at least from your perspective. I can tell you my perspective if it helps. Do you think it's worth it?
If you are driven to achieve your goal, it doesn't matter the type of goal, right? If you want to achieve any type of goal, the sacrifice is almost always worth it. Always. I don't need to explain why. If you love something enough, you'll do what it takes to achieve that goal and not let anything get in your way.
I couldn't agree more because I've thought about this recently. Being a little bit older, having achieved a lot of my dreams in diving, being an Olympian, Commonwealth medal, Australian champion, I look back at how much I had to sacrifice, how I couldn't go to any parties, how I couldn't really hang out with people outside diving because you were so busy training. And I went to a house party recently. And I remember thinking to myself so strongly, I'm so glad I didn't spend my childhood doing this. Because I don't think that would be worth it. And you make a lot of sacrifices being an elite athlete. But at least you're training hard, staying fit, avoiding drinking or any of those other bad habits that can send you down some bad roads. And when I went to this house party recently, I've been to a few, but I just think, I'm so glad I didn't spend my whole childhood doing that. But as a kid, I really felt like I missed out. So as I'm older, I'm glad I didn't do those things. But as a kid, training full time, I did feel like I was missing out a little bit.
You do miss out on a lot as a teenager, and those are very, very exciting years in your life. You only get to experience them once. You only get to be a young kid in school once, and you get to fool around a lot. And I think that
is fun.
It is fun. It is very fun. When you become an adult and you get out into the big wide world, you reflect on those years and you're like, I wish I could have done this or that, like a few things differently to make it a little bit better.
What would you have done differently?
Been a bit more outgoing or extroverted. I tend to be very introverted. And I just wish I was able to have a few more friendships and get along with people and just be a bit more out there.
So if you could go back to your childhood and do it again, even still being an elite athlete, what would you have done differently?
Get along with people more, not just keep to myself, and say to myself, it's okay to be a kid. It's okay to have fun. You need to just live. You need to live a little.
Live a bit more in the moment?
A little bit more in the moment.
It's tricky too, because as an elite athlete, to a degree, you need to be quite selfish.
You do.
Because you've got to think about what you're doing all the time. And at training, it can even be tough to look around and have a chat to everyone because you're so focused on your next dive, so focused on what you're doing. I'm still in that training environment.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for me?
What advice would I give you about what?
Put your head up at training a bit more, talk to everyone else, or lock in, get the job done.
Focus when it's time to focus, but when you get out of the pool and when you finish training, focus more on everything outside of diving and being an athlete, right? You need to take care of your mental health, what you're eating, your physical well-being, not as an athlete, but as a person. You need to look after your own well-being. Yeah.
I always find that by doing things outside the pool, like the podcasts and content, it allows me to go into the pool feeling accomplished and feeling fresh and not just stressing about training outside of training.
Which is really hard to do.
Mm.
It is really hard to do when you're taught to be so self-aware and competitiveness, being a perfectionist, disciplined, being hardworking is just absolutely drilled into you from a young age. That's the only thing you know how to do. You're always in this mindset. It's completely built into our nature from a young age.
It's really useful in other areas of life. Like I have no issue just waking up, training in the morning, working all day, training again, and then basically working until I go to bed. And I don't struggle to do that. Like it's as if those skills of diving, of like hard work and mental persistence, just helps me get through everything else in life. What's some of the biggest lessons you learned from diving that you've found really useful elsewhere?
Some of the biggest lessons,
or even principles, tactics,
principles.
Something you learnt from diving that you apply other areas in your life.
Being disciplined, not giving up when you're tired, when you're struggling. It's being able to just focus, turn off your brain, not give in to any cravings or feeling that something that you want to do but you can't. You need to focus. I can't speak.
I guess you mean like short-term gratification, like delaying gratification.
Sorry?
Like delaying gratification.
Delaying gratification, yeah.
Like thinking longer term, sacrificing the small things. Like I can guarantee, even now, most mornings I get up, I'm so tired. I just want to stay in bed and I don't really want to go training. But it's not an option.
It's not an option.
It's not an option. So you're saying that would you say that that diligence and delayed gratification is what?
Delayed gratification, yeah. You need to you need to complete what needs to you need to prioritize what's important, not give in to feelings of gratification.
Was there a moment in your diving career where you thought, I've made it, or I feel like all the work was worth it, or a moment that you were really proud of that stood out from everything else?
Many times.
Can you tell me about a few?
Yeah.
Probably one when he was beating me. Beat me a few times, that's for sure.
As
a kid, I thought you were unbeatable. You were the guy that would rock up and always win. Always win. Day in, day out. I remember I thought it was impossible. Got him one day.
Yeah.
But, he was fierce competitor.
That really pushed both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really pushed me as we started to get older, and you just pushed ahead.
Cracking
it's incredible.
on.
Yeah, you cracked on.
But what were those moments for you?
For me, my first elite nationals, and it was my first dive that I felt like, oh my God, this is so worth it. So I'd been training for, I think, a year, maybe a little bit over a year, and I'd made my first elite nationals, and I was, finally, I get to prove myself. This is the first time that people are going to see me at an elite competition. All the important people are here. Time to show them who I am. And I remember my first dive, it was a front 1.5, and I just go completely flat entry, come up, and I got a 9 or maybe 2 9s, and I was like, oh my God, this is my first 9 at an elite nationals competition and on my debut. And I'm like, it is so worth it. I don't care how the rest of this competition goes. This is so worth it. I was like, that was the first time I was like, I could not have been happier.
Because there's so many pressures that go into it. Like, you're right. There's like all these, especially as a kid, it's quite intimidating. You got all these important people around pool deck, all the institute coaches from all around the country, including your coach. And then elite nationals, it's like this expectation that you're going to be good. And everyone trains so hard working towards it. Like it's as a kid, it's everything.
It is everything when you're that age.
It was a moment when you represented Australia. Tell us about your first international comp. Were we together?
First international.
Was it Dresden?
Yeah, it was Dresden, but it was with Hamish.
Oh, I love Hamish.
Yeah.
Was that fun?
That was that I couldn't have asked for a better trip, really. That was an awesome first international
Like
competition.
any trip with Hamish is pretty good.
Any trip with Hamish is very exciting. Very exciting. You know, I went to my first international competition, was terrified. I don't even remember how long, but I just remember it was a horribly long flight.
The trip to Dresden's a piss take. I remember I got like 3 flights, a bullet train, a tram, and then we walked. It took us like 2 days to get there. When we went together, you said the most funny statement ever. You're like, I'm so tired from sitting down. I just need to sit down.
Yep. When you're so tired from sitting down on a plane, you just get off the plane, you stretch your back, and you're like, I need to sit down. That was a long one. Yeah, I can't forget that.
So your first time going there with Hamo, what was the competition like?
It was very fun. It was 5 or 6 of us. The competition was a wake-up call. That was a wake-up. That was my first international competition. Was a massive wake-up call to me. Like, okay, this is what I'm up against. Okay, I got to buckle down a bit when I get back. The standard was amazing. It is nothing like I hadn't experienced anything like this before. Obviously, you have the Australian Olympic athletes. You see them and they are just absolutely perfect. But you see someone your age doing it like they are, and you're like, oh my God, they are on another level. So the second I got back from that international I was training my guts out. I needed to get to a better level, that level that they were performing at. They were insane. It was a big wake-up call.
And how much improvement did you make at training after doing that event, coming back and putting that work in?
After every single international competition that I went to, my level, what's the word? My standard, my quality of diving, my dive just increased in quality dramatically. When you see someone, it's the little things that matters in dives, pointing your toes, straightening your knees, just making a dive look elegant and beautiful. When you go to these international competitions, they like make it look so easy. And trust me, these dives are not easy. All these divers can make it look really easy. But when you see these divers on the world stage doing them, you're like, oh my God, I need to buckle down.
I remember my first international as well. And even someone did something as basic as an entry. And I was like, oh shit. But you also forget how good you are as well.
Yes.
And it can be, and I fell victim to this. My first international comp, I was like so overwhelmed and I didn't do that great. And I thought everyone was way better than me. It was Dresden, my first one. And I ended up like belly flopping one of my dives and like coming near last. And I looked at the people that won and I honestly thought to myself, I can never be that good. I thought these people are just on another level. I can't be that good. But I came back to training and went back to Dresden 2 years later with you. And I ended up winning that event with my 4.5, nailed every dive. And that was like, for me, one of the biggest personal growth stages I ever went through, because 2 years earlier, I'd looked at the people that had won that event and just felt completely inferior. Like, I can't even compete against these guys. Yeah. And then to come back a few years later and win, you kind of realize that anything is possible if you're willing to work and chip away at it. That was a good trip with you.
That was such a good trip. I remember that 4.5 as well. That was... words cannot describe.
I butchered it every day in training. Nailed it in comp. That's when you thank the diving gods.
It's not always about how you do your dives in training either. As long as you hit that one in comp,
It just makes all the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something you think people misunderstood about you when you were diving?
When I was diving, two things. Two things I think people misunderstand about me. Um, just because I look serious, tired, that I just because I look serious doesn't mean I don't want you to talk to me.
I agree with this. Yeah.
Big reason for me, right? You know, I'd train 5, 6 hours a day, and I'd come home and I'm just absolutely exhausted. Or I have training in the morning and I go to school and I'm just exhausted, and I look like a zombie or look like I want to kill you. It's not because I do. It's because I'm just so exhausted. I don't have the mental or social energy to just get along with anyone. Like I just need to be in my own space, you know, like recover before the afternoon training session.
So that even if you look angry, you're not angry.
I'm not angry.
It's like that. I wonder if everyone thinks I'm angry at training, because it's like come in, I just focused. Yeah, and when you focus, you're like thinking about nothing else but like what you got to do, and you're not particularly thinking about how you look. You're thinking about what you got to do in the pool.
Mm-hmm. But you're also thinking about diving even when you're not there.
It never turns off.
It never turns off. This is something being an elite athlete, your life literally becomes sport. You think sport, you dream sport.
What was your toughest day in the pool? Where you either thought, I can't do this, or you went home and thought, I don't know if I want to go back anymore. And how did you get through it?
I remember the first time, and it was with Tomo, and I was so upset. I just remember it was my first time. I was 12. It was like one of the first few weeks I started out. Maybe been like 2, 3 months in N-Swiss. And I hit my feet on the board doing an inward 1.5, and I clipped them, and I didn't want to do the dive again for the rest of the session.
That's your diving career?
Yeah.
I was no more inward.
No more inward, right?
Just so people know at home, you have to do 6 groups. If you hit your head in the platform, your feet on the platform, don't matter. You got to compete 6 groups.
And Tomo comes up to me and he's like, you got to go back up there. Sometimes you just got to get through the hard times, and even if you don't want to do it, you have to do it, because that's making yourself stronger and you're becoming a better person, a better athlete, a better diver.
And did you do it?
I remember going back up and I had to do it. I just bent my legs and, you know, Tomo wasn't impressed.
Did like a half effort?
Yeah. It was a half effort.
He was a good straight shooter, Tomo.
Yeah. Straight to the point.
He pulled me aside once after COVID, and I was really struggling with motivation because we'd just missed. They'd moved the Olympics. It was 2020. We were back training, and I was so lost. I was trying to train hard, but I just didn't have the motivation. So I was doing my best, but it wasn't good enough. And Tomo pulled me aside and he said, Sam, you're not training hard enough. And if you don't train hard, when the Olympics roll around and you don't make it, you're going to be furious at yourself. So you need to turn that around now. And I remember, just because he was so straight up with me, I was like, yeah, well, no, he's right. And then at least you have the information at hand that you can be like, right, I need to do this, I need to do this, and then you can get back on the horse. And I ended up making that Olympics. But sometimes they got to be hard.
He was a really great coach, actually. He was just straight to the point. He wouldn't beat around the bush. He was straight to the point. He told you what needed to be done. Let's do it this way. How can he support you? And what do you need to do it? All right? Let's talk about it. Let's get it done.
I remember one day when I was learning the front 4.5, one of the hardest dives in the world. And I'm such a tall diver. When I was a kid, and that I felt like they were going to kick me out because I was too tall. These were the dives they thought I wouldn't be able to do. And I went up to Tomo, who was my coach at the time. I was like, oh, Tomo, am I going to make it? Am I going to make this dive on 10? And then we looked back at me and he said, well, I've never coached one, so we're about to find out. And I remember even just like the honesty made me laugh, but it made me kind of like back him because I'm like, you know, all right, we're in it together.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember,
That
I was
laugh-
expecting something like, yeah, no, you'll be good.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, well, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But you've done the preparation and we're going to find out.
You need that, you know, bit of a laugh and bit of a joke. And that can motivate you to do something, right? Not just that pressure, like, don't be too scared, because that can put more pressure on you. If you just have a bit of a joke with your athlete, you know.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something you've learned about yourself since you finished diving?
Mm-hmm.
You've been able to reflect on your career. What have you learned about yourself during this time of retirement?
For me, it was, you know, taking this label of being the diver off the top of my head and coming to the realization in my senses that diving and just sport is not everything. You are a person, and diving is just something that I happen to be good at. I didn't do diving because I was forced into it or I was made to do it. It was just something I was good at, so I did it. And I loved it. I loved diving, right? But also, it's not my whole life, right? If you get caught up with all that, like, your whole
Self-worth and everything. It's so easy, especially as a kid. As a kid, it was everything.
So, for me, it was coming to that senses that I just happened to be a person that was pretty good at diving, and I happened to do it because I loved it. And that's how it should be for everyone. You shouldn't base your whole self-worth and your performances off of the sport you do, because that will ruin you and your mentality and your mental state, your mental well-being.
Do you think you did a good job of that when you were diving, or is this a realization you've had after diving, looking back on it?
This is a realization after, you know, going all the way through school, it just felt like diving was put on my head, and it's really annoying sometimes. When you're outside of the pool, you don't even want to talk about diving.
Yeah, I get you.
And just people come, how are you doing? How's the diving going? Like, can we talk about something else? My coach is, you know, just I'm already thinking about it as we're speaking.
Yeah, I feel bad sometimes. My mum was like, "Oh, how's training?" Even these days, I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine."
Yeah.
So, "Oh, how's it going?" No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, it might be tough, but I'm handling it, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So it's fine. But I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Because
A lot of people don't really want to talk about it.
you spend so much time thinking about it.
You just want to talk about something else, or talk about something else that you like, you know?
And for you, when we were diving, you were heavy into your gaming.
Love my gaming.
Was that a mental checkout? Was that your way of escape? Or was it just something you passionately loved? Or were you addicted?
But no. Well, you
That's a
know,
yes.
when you're competitive, yeah. Well, competitive. I was very, you know, I'm doing diving because I'm competitive and I'm a perfectionist. So when I get on a video game, you know, I'm not gonna half-ass it.
Oh, he's there to win.
Yeah, exactly. I'm there to win. I want to win at everything.
I like that.
Every single game I do, I want to be the best at. So, you know, obsession can kick in, and next thing you know, you're addicted.
Right. High performance.
Yeah. High perform.
Will it keep you up late some nights?
No. We won't go into that.
So, what aside from diving and gaming, what else did you love outside diving that you'd want to talk about?
What did I love out?
Like when someone would come and say, Vlad,
Yeah.
how's diving going? And you'd say, it's fine. What would you want them asking about?
Music. I really like to DJ.
Yeah.
I love music. Not at training, it was like a way of escaping all the pain, you know, and it would push me to push hard, push me and make me work harder, train harder, and I could just switch off and listen to music, and it required minimal thinking when I was training, but also outside of the pool, it was like I just like listening to music. It calmed me down. It distracted me from all this brain fog and diving, work. It just brought me back to reality.
Do you still DJ?
Not in, not so much now, but if I wanted to, I can. Yeah.
And what was that transition period like? Because I know a lot of elite athletes, when they finish sport, like I've seen divers really struggle with still staying fit and healthy after finishing diving. You're looking pretty fit and healthy. How have you been able to stay so healthy without strict training regimes? Because when you're an elite athlete, you don't have a choice. Like you're going to be at training, or you're in trouble.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
but when you're done, you don't go to the gym. No one cares.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you.
Yeah, when you stop training, you're completely alone. You're completely alone. Your whole life is now in your hands. You do everything. You have to make your own routine, right? And the only person that's going to tell you to do it is you. And as soon as I stopped diving, all that structure, waking up at 5, out the window. Out the window. I think that's pretty normal as well as an elite athlete. When you've been doing that since we're 12 years old, you don't want to listen to anyone. You want to be, you want to rebel. You want to try something out. You need to explore a little bit, right?
Did you have a rogue phase?
Yeah, I had a rogue phase.
What happened in Vlad's rogue phase after he retired from diving?
Rogue phase? Oh, not going to the gym, staying up late, just not eating healthy, just having fun, doing things I wasn't able to do.
It's nice.
And it is nice. You need to get that out of your system a little bit.
How long did it take, or is it still going?
No. It ended pretty quickly.
Okay.
It ended pretty quickly. And I've understood why. Because you're so used to staying in a routine for most of your life. As soon as you lose that structure, you start thinking, what now? Like, you start to become lost, actually. If you don't have anything outside of diving before you leave diving, you're going to become lost. And I think a lot of that happens to a lot of elite athletes. So that rogue phase maybe was fixed after 2 months, and I got back into gym. I went with a friend, started going 4 times a week. Not as much as we used to do, but it was just going to the gym, getting out, doing something different. And that's really important with staying healthy, eating healthy, meeting people. I was able to do a lot of things I wasn't able to do. And that's really exciting after diving.
Has that novelty worn off yet?
Novelty?
Of not having the structured routine of an elite athlete? Like, as the excitement of having the freedom to do whatever you want whenever you want, has that worn off yet? Or is that still apparent?
It's not apparent, but it took me, well, over a year to figure out, what am I doing with my life, and get over the fact I'm not diving anymore, and remove this label from come to terms with my life is not diving.
Was that hard?
Very hard. That's what I struggled with a lot on a daily basis when I stopped diving.
Because seeing yourself as an athlete, as a diver, then having that taken away, how did you manage that, your self-worth and how you felt about yourself? How did you deal with that?
I felt really lost. you're used to training every day, and you're achieving. Even just going to training every day was like, that's an achievement.
Yeah.
If I didn't go to the gym one day, if I didn't do something, if I wasn't doing anything and I didn't achieve something, I just felt absolutely worthless or useless. And that's not good for your mental health at all, right? You have a motive, you need to be motivated and driven. And I didn't have that when I stopped diving. I didn't know what to do with myself. So the second you stop, you don't have what you were doing you were dedicated to your whole life. Um,
How'd you get through it?
how did I get through it?
Like, how'd you battle with that, and how'd
Mhm.
you get through it? Or is it something you still struggle with?
It's something I still struggle with, but the important thing um, about figuring it out is being proactive, not sitting still doing nothing. If you sit still do nothing, you don't get anywhere. Um, and so that was just trying my hand in different things, like doing a bit of tradie work here and there, going helping out with my parents at their work, just tagging along, seeing different things, learning about different things. Being proactive is really important. You don't need to like something, but just go try something. You don't know if you'll like something until you try it.
But trying a whole bunch of different stuff, and
Mhm.
has there been anything that's stuck?
Mhm. So, well, for me, it was IT and cyber. Um, Came from my gaming, obviously, love of computer gaming. I just, I did some studies while I was training in diving. And that was really valuable to me to know that after diving, I have got something to go to. Um,
Do you still study IT?
Not anymore, so I finished studying, but I am looking at going to university next year, um, to study cybersecurity. That'd be really good.
Good on you. So,
Mm.
what's your dream now?
What is my dream now? Oh, look, I'm wanting to start. mm, What is my dream now? I'm still in the process of working that out. I still am in the process of working that out. Um, I don't know entirely, and that's okay. I'm completely okay with that. Um, but what's important to me right now is finding a new battlefield.
Somewhere
Something,
to give everything?
somewhere to give my all.
Hmm.
Somewhere, whether it be learning, studying, gaming, sport, business, all of these things I'm just exploring right now. I want to find something that I love and just be able to give it my all.
What you're talking about, like that
Mhm.
area that you can dedicate all your spare time to and absolutely obsess over and get better.
Mhm.
That's what I find in social stuff,
Mhm.
social media,
Mhm.
like how to make better videos, how
Mhm.
to come up with better ideas, how to shoot better, have better audio, more
Mhm.
entertaining videos.
Mhm.
And it's so rewarding to have something like that
Mhm.
outside diving.
Mhm.
I feel very grateful I've found it. I feel a bit lucky that I've been
Yeah.
able to find those things, because without social media work and diving, I would feel quite lost as well.
Mhm.
But I suppose by trying so many different things,
Mhm.
like I've tried so many things that just haven't
Yeah.
worked over the years.
Yeah. You just need to try things. Even if you don't like it, you don't know if you until you try it. And you figure out what you are good at and what you do like by doing things you don't like as well.
What's something you tried that you hated?
What's something that I tried that I hated? Oh, papaya fruit for starters.
Fruit?
Yeah, papaya fruit. I don't like that.
Is that the Singaporean
Mm,
stinky fruit?
mm,
Oh yeah. I had to eat some of that in Singapore earlier this
mm.
year.
Yeah, I got spoon fed it,
Oh,
but blind, and
oh.
I,
Look,
I hated
if
it.
anyone enjoys like hats off to you. That's just not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
How would you define success now versus 10 years ago?
Mm-hmm. 10 years ago,
When you were an elite diver.
Yeah. Success for me was nailing my dives, medals, trophies, getting my high score, highest points per dive, total score, winning the validation of my coach and other athletes. That's how I would define success. That's how that's all success was when I was a kid. Yeah.
What about now?
Now it's changed a lot. For me, it's just finding things to be happy about, and it's about the little wins. Whether it's getting up, making your bed, having a healthy meal, going for a walk, you need to start small. And these things are the, steps to figuring out what I want to do or what you want to do outside of sport. And yeah, that's how I'm being proactive in figuring out what I want to do. It's just baby steps.
Is there any bit of advice you'd go back and tell your 12-year-old self who was going to endure 10 years of elite sport and diving, with the perspective having retired for 2 years? What would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself to be more outgoing. Yeah. Just more outgoing, more selfless. Oh, sorry, more selfish.
More selfish.
More selfish.
In what aspect?
Go get what you want.
Get what you want.
Yeah, make it clear. Yeah. Don't be shy, don't be scared, just
I feel like I have a good crack at that.
Yeah. You need to be.
You got to.
You have to be.
Yeah, it's like that saying from Sylvester Stallone. I've definitely butchered his name, but he says, "If you know what you're worth, then go out and get it and take it, and obviously do it the right way."
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to go and get it.
I think for me, have less regard for what other people think. If you want something, go for it. Don't listen to other people. And if they get upset, don't worry about it. If it works for you, do it.
Because I feel like I've lived a lot of my life like that, and it comes with backlash. Because when you do things that are in your best interest to best put you forward, it might annoy other people.
It does.
But you just got to accept that you can't please everyone. And the way I look at it too, I think the better I can do, the better I can look after the people I care about, and that's what's important to me. But I see what you're saying. Like even like filming at training. You remember the first time I brought a tripod to film my dives at training? Everyone laughed at me.
Everyone laughed at you. Took the mickey out of you, literally.
Everyone was taking the piss out of me.
Everyone's like, just piss off. Like, put it back in there. Let's train. Literally, it was like everyone thought you were the circus clown. Literally. And then next thing you know, bowing down to you.
It's just crazy though. Like everyone laughed at me, but it's kind of set me up for life and given me something that I can work on outside the pool.
Yeah.
But you need to be okay with being laughed at or being seen as a clown or doing something different, because that's one of those selfish things you're talking about. Like if I was more concerned about these people laughing at me, I may not have done it. Or maybe I would have put it back in my bag and not filmed training.
Yeah.
But
You are this is the perfect example. You are the perfect example of doing something and regardless of what other people think, and just absolutely bagging you out, and you still doing it anyway because you see real potential and you're just wanting to give it a crack, and it working out, and then next thing you know, they're, hey, I know him, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the perfect example of sticking with it.
And you just got to believe, like, I think I just had the conviction that I thought, even though everyone's laughing at me and making fun of me and making jokes, I believe that this is going to work.
That's all you need. You just
Back
need to
yourself.
believe that it will work and do what you can.
Did you have moments like that in your diving career where people doubted you? Can you tell me about a moment where someone doubted you and you...
All throughout, as we both know, starting out, what was it, for maybe the first 3-4 years? Actually, all throughout, but yeah, nobody really wanted tall divers. It wasn't the ideal body type.
Yeah, because we were both quite tall. When I was young, I was worried I was going to get kicked out because I was too tall. They used to do our height and weight every Friday, and every time I would grow, all the other divers would go and tell the coach.
Yep.
Because they thought that the coach would kick us out.
Yeah.
Now the coach had our backs.
Yeah.
But I was, because divers were traditionally quite short. I was so stressed. I was going to get kicked out just because I was growing. Not that the coaches ever said that.
Yeah.
But every time I grew, and they'd do the height, a lot of we were kids, but the kids we trained with would go and try to, would get us in trouble for growing.
Yeah. I remember 13, 14, I had my massive growth spurts. And, you know, it's the only thing everyone can talk about. Oh, Vlad, you look like a giant. You look like a monster today. How much did you go? 3 feet? 4 feet?
I mean, I used to have anxiety about growing taller.
Yeah, I did as well. You become really self-conscious of it. You do become really self-conscious of your body.
But it's funny because in my day-to-day life, I'm glad that I'm quite tall. I'm not like super tall. I'm like 6'1".
I'm so glad that I'm this tall.
But it does make diving harder.
It does make diving hard.
And as a kid, I just saw it as a massive negative because all the other top divers were quite short. And it does make it harder because you got to move more in the air.
Yeah.
But you could also be stronger.
That's something that really motivated both of us. Even though we were taller, we were bigger than most people, right? To just be on the same level as them, you just had to train harder. And we both really pushed ourselves, and I'm really grateful to you, you know, being my training partner back then. Like, if I was alone, I actually don't know if I could have gotten through that and gotten to the level where I did get to.
I probably couldn't have done it without you boys either. Even like toughest days at training, like you'd have a shocker of a week, a month, 3 months. 3 months of just pure wiping out, losing confidence, feeling useless and chronically fatigued.
Yeah.
But then just finishing training and knowing you can go get a coffee with your mates.
Yeah.
Those small things, like a coffee after training with someone that you really enjoy hanging out with, just pulled me through so many hard times.
Yeah, being able to get breakfast after, have a snack, just relax and just debrief a session, or just talk about something different, talk about life, you know,
with each other.
That was a super important part.
I think it helped a lot because having someone that already understand all the nuances of a situation, I could explain something without having to go into detail, and you would understand all the details from it. So it'd be easier to discuss. I'll tell you what's been tough. All you boys have retired.
Yeah.
And now I have no one.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy my age training at the institute. And it is lonely without you boys.
Yeah.
Oh, you got your coaches.
Yeah.
But it's harder without you boys.
I hated not being able to train with other boys, and it has nothing to do with girls. It's just when guys get together like this and you have a competitive training
And
partner,
you're trying to be better than each other.
you're trying to be better than him, and you're just like,
And he's trying to be better than
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, and you're just one-upping each other every single time.
Even at training, you'd hear diving. Like, that's all right.
Not bad, not bad.
I think that's good.
What's this one?
What's
This
this
one? Yeah.
Oh, God.
You do 20 pike. I'll do 21 pike ups. 22, 20, 23.
You'd like watch what each other are doing in training.
Mm-hmm. You know, so having a training partner like you're the best training partner by far.
Dude, same here. Like, just got you through all those impossible moments I never thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one thing you'd love to share that you'd be kicking yourself if you didn't talk about today?
Life is not. Although being an elite athlete might look like a really great ideal lifestyle, it's really hard. It takes a toll on us physically, mentally, and it's not all as it seems, right? We are just regular people. We're just really committed to our sport and what we do. But don't just put labels. Don't put labels on us, I think. We're proud of what we do, but we want to be treated like normal people as well.
Like, not put in the pedestal.
Yeah.
It's insane too, because like you just it takes everything, and it's worth it. Like, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I've been able to do it. But yeah, at the end of the day, as you said, you got to be a person first, and you want to be treated like a person first.
Actually, one thing that I really need to emphasize and think that is really important is whether it be business, your hobbies, or whatever you have a career in, don't make it solely your purpose for living and make it your whole life, your success. You know, you just need to be someone that's really good at this thing, whether it's diving or whatever, and that's what you're doing at the moment. Don't let it be your soul. Don't let it ruin your emotions, your mentality. Let it be something that you happen to be good at, and just go about your everyday life.
And it's a constant battle, right? Like, I feel like I've been able to get a good perspective on that in diving. Have a bad session, I'm like, it's okay. Have a bad comp, so it's okay. And then using it in other areas of my life, I feel like I have to train it up again. Like, oh, I did really badly at this, oh, I suck at that. No. I actually sucked at diving for a long time, so I just got to give it enough attention, but not getting too dragged into it, not beating yourself up. I really appreciate that. Appreciate your time coming on, Vlad.
I appreciate you inviting me as well. It's been a pleasure.
I feel like I could talk to you for hours, and the amount of stories we've got from traveling the world, and it's good to hear some of your perspectives on it. Because as a kid too, as I said, when I was young and you were in the institute, I saw Vlad as unbeatable. I thought, this man is unbeatable. And for a long time, he just won everything, which was very impressive, very motivating. I wouldn't be the diver I am today if I wasn't training with you.
So I'm very happy to hear that.
Cheers, brother. Thanks for coming on.
It's been a pleasure, bro.